We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. God damn it! I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Stockton, California's finest gentlemen, proudly present to you the greatest show in the world today. Your host, he's rich, he's wealthy, he's a prominent member of the Bohemian Club, a master mason of the highest degree, Crosley Gracie Brown Belt, Tim Freeman! And also co-hosting, this man is the author and inventor of Big Man's Jiu-Jitsu, the baddest man that ever stepped into fat camp, Crosley Gracie Black Belts, hoodest. And today's special guest, Lloyd Irvin. This is the Inside BJJ podcast. That announcement was brought to you by Caveman Coffee.
Oh, yes, that is right. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to cavemancoffee.com.
Support our sponsors.
And Caveman is a great one. Go to cavemancoffee.com. Use the discount code INSIDE during checkout. You could save yourself 10%, and 10% goes a long way, right, Matt Freeman?
It goes a long way, and you buy some Caveman Coffee, and your beard will grow like Tate Fletcher.
That's a guarantee. And if it doesn't, just hit up Tate or Keith Jardine. Let them know what happened. Welcome, Matt. Thanks for joining us on a special midweek.
Once again, thank you for having me into your home.
Evening podcast.
Hopefully I don't get kicked out.
No, you will not get kicked out tonight. We got a terrific show lined up for you. Pretty important guest, right? Pretty heavy guest.
Team LI.
Yeah, Lloyd Irvin has agreed to come on the show, do an interview with us.
Man, dude, before all this shit happened with Lloyd, he was going strong. Like, it looked like Lloyd Irvin was about to take over the world.
Yeah, I feel like actually, and I'll reserve my comments for the interview and probably after the interview, but in terms of what was going on in the jiu-jitsu world at the time, Lloyd Irvin...
The Kumite.
He did the Kumite, and...
He was on to some shit.
Before anybody else was.
He's doing the Kumite. Everybody in the jiu-jitsu business was trying to get with Lloyd Irvin. I think a lot of people were.
I wouldn't say everybody was trying to
get. A lot of people were trying to use his marketing for their business.
Well, a lot of people still use his marketing.
But there was a lot more people that were talking about Lloyd Irvin before the controversy hit.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. So we're excited to talk to him. What else? This is April Freemium month. What that means is all of our premium episodes are free.
$3.99.
And the way you can hear those is they will actually publish to iTunes, but you can also download the Inside BJJ app from your app store, and it has all of the episodes and also has the full back catalog, which you cannot get on iTunes.
What you really ought to do is get yourself the app. It gets downloaded right to your phone. You get all the episodes. There's not going to be no hidden charges. You get everything for free.
It's all free.
That's my Jim Ross.
That's a good Jim Ross.
Support the good folks at Amazon. They help us out a lot. They're not going to give you any extra hidden charges or none of that. Amazon's a good company. They shave us off a little bit, so support our sponsors.
A company. And also we want to remind you guys to check out BJJ Tour. Make sure you get on the tour. Go to www.bjjtour.com. In Connecticut, I think last week I misspoke and I said that the tournament was in Florida. In March, the Florida event actually happened.
I knew that you did, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to overshadow you.
Yeah, never outshine the master.
I knew you were wrong when you said it, though. I didn't want to bring it up, though. I wanted to wait for you to figure it out for yourself.
Oh, man. How'd you figure? You're so heavy like that,
so that you could see it, and that way you wouldn't get upset with me for pointing it out.
Oh, you're that, like, see, you should have listened to me guy?
I'm not that, no.
I want to remind you guys to check it out. Go to bjjtour.com not over, but $50,000 in over 9 events and prize money.
Yeah, man. If you're a black belt and you're actually in any of those areas, but especially the Northern California area or any of the area that the BJJ Tour is going to, I don't know why you wouldn't compete in the BJJ Tour.
Yep. And coming up in June, they're going to be in Connecticut and in Santa Cruz at the All-Star. We'll be doing the play-by-play there. So,
with the All-Star, like what makes it the All-Star?
Probably the commentating. It's top notch.
Is there something special? Like why is it called the All-Star?
I think it's just a really awesome name, right?
It's not like the best of the best. That's just the name of the tournament.
We could say it's the best of the best.
It's the best of
that
the
day,
best
in that area. Yeah.
Yes, it's coming. What in Santa Cruz, right?
Yeah, Santa Cruz, Kaiser Pavilion. Nice
so
setup.
If you're in Northern California and you're a black belt and you compete in tournaments, I don't know why you wouldn't do this tournament, because if you compete in the absolute and you win, you get $1,000. And if you compete in your weight division and you win, you get $500. Like Yuri Samo walked away with $1,500.
Right, which was a nice win, and he did a great job at the tournament there.
And then I believe you could win more money down the line, right?
Yeah, they're talking about bumping it up. So check it out. Go to www.bjjtour.com. Make sure you check out Countermove Fantasy MMA.
Whoa. I just want to see one more question about the. You're trying to get through this. So, aren't eventually all the dudes that have won going to meet up?
Is
that what's going to happen?
Well, not all the dudes, but there's a ranking system, and I think maybe the plan is to have some type of super event based on that ranking system in the future.
So it's going to be points, right?
But it's not written in stone yet. It's just kind of like an idea is being kicked around. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, no, it'd be awesome. Check them out, bjjtour.com. Then also make sure you check out Countermove Fantasy MMA.
Fuck you, Tommy Toehold.
You must.
Fuck you, Hinata Laranja. Jennifer Swift, I love you. You're so beautiful.
Make sure you check those guys out. They are a partner of the show. We really appreciate all the work they do. They are really the #1 purveyor of Countermove, of Countermove. Of course, they are Countermove, of fantasy MMA. There's a lot of fantasy sports type sites that do all kinds of different fantasy stuff. And, they just kind of slap MMA on. Like, yeah, we do MMA, but Countermove, that's their specialty, is fantasy MMA. Nobody gets it like they get it. They get MMA. It's built by MMA-type people, jiu-jitsu people who are really involved. So check them out.
Yeah, dude. If you know your MMA, you talk all that shit to all your friends, who's going to win, who's not going to win. Go to Countermove, get yourself an account, and join a fucking tournament for like $2 and you could join a tournament. You could join a fantasy MMA. It's just like fucking fantasy football. You know, all these fantasy football motherfuckers. Fantasy MMA is the same concept. You join that shit, and you can fucking win up to like some tournaments are like $500, $1,000, $2,000. Each one is different, but if you really know your fucking shit like you say you do, put your money where your fucking mouth is and get on some Countermove.
Yeah, no, I agree. Make sure you check them out. Go to countermovemma.com. So, man, it's kind of a short week for us.
Hump day, motherfucker.
Wednesday. Remember we used to do the Wednesday night grind? Those are some good shows, dude. Didn't you like those shows?
Right. From Port City.
Let me see if I can find it.
See, what happened then... This is brought to you by Merv Griffin Studios.
Remember that?
So, like, back then, we were starting to go strong, right? We had shit rolling.
That's how far it went mental.
We had shit, and you had, like, a fucking breakdown.
Pretty close.
And then all that shit got shut down. This whole thing probably almost got stopped. The whole thing almost got stopped. It came close.
It came close.
So now we're back. We're going strong again.
But we're going strong in the sense that we got our premium set up. We got the sweatshop. We got the big MF experiment.
Which that's really the best thing going in this whole network.
In the whole stable. Is this a stable now? This is not.
Woo!
Hey, this is not a faction. This is a stable, huh?
This is a stable. This is we are this is a family. It's like the Heenan family.
We might close to the 4 horsemen of podcasting.
I'm gonna call it the 4 horsemen.
But there's only 3 of us.
You're forgetting somebody.
Who's that?
The lovely Estelita.
I thought she was the valet.
We couldn't be the horsemen because we have a woman in this. They had a few women in the
I guess right now, yeah. Maybe Chuck Walker. He's talking about
Stella's Missy Hyatt.
Chuck Walker's talking about starting up a podcast with us, perhaps.
I had a lot of fun with you, him, and Will.
Fuck yeah.
I did personally. Like,
I did
I
too.
kind of want to do it again.
We should do it. They're both. Will, if you haven't checked out the Big MF Experiment episode 2, Will Cowens is on there, and the guy is a goddamn genius.
He's a historian, and he's pretty much finished going for his doctor's degree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a smart dude. I feel like I'm catching this guy early. I feel like this dude could do the best history podcast that anyone has ever heard. You know, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I like hardcore history, but I think he's in his own way.
He's legit.
He could be as good or better. So I feel like I'm lucky that I'm snagging this guy up and working with this dude now.
Did you sign him to an exclusive contract?
Will
Cowan, exclusive contract.
I actually,
Did you discover him?
Me and Rallick and Meta Morris, we have an exclusive thing going with Will. There's other
Make
lady.
sure you check that out, though.
There's another lady I know who's historically is really fucking smart.
Yeah.
Really, she knows all kinds of shit about, pretty much everything. I might bring her on.
You should. Check out the Big MF Experiment episode 2 if you want to hear Will Cowens and Chuck Walker and myself with the Big MF.
Talking politics.
So check that stuff out, man. You can get premium if you go to InsideBJJ.com/premium. Sign up. It's $1.99 a month.
$1.99.
And it look. This is what you guys don't understand. Is it helps kind of keep this whole thing going. I get people all the time say, you got to take it to the next level. Like,
we're trying to.
Yeah, we're trying to take it to the next level, but damn, son.
Sign up,
the next
motherfucker.
level, the next level ain't free, bitches.
So, basically, there's probably going to be a lot of new listeners. Some of you will get this show and some of you won't. But for those of you that do, basically Inside BJJ is the mothership. That's always free. That's what we love, and that's what brought this all together. And each one of us have kind of got our own little side thing going. And for all the side shit, for the people that listen because they like us dumb motherfuckers and like the dumb shit we talk about, we're kind of all doing our own shit, and that's the $1.99 that you get.
Yeah, and you also get the Girls on Grappling, and sometimes we just do premium stuff, like just
Girls on Grappling is growing.
It's fucking getting big.
I hate to admit this, brother, but I got to give the devil her due.
You know whose idea that was? You're looking at him. I said we need to get a women's
All
podcast.
I'm saying is, this could be Yoko Ono.
I was just reading about the Beatles breakup.
Yoko.
She was giving input to the band.
Stella's never giving me input about anything on the show.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna quite do that. She might though. She could.
She could. I still think we should do one together.
You
it's
and her.
Explosive when we get on the scene.
You guys should get in a big fight like you used to. You guys used to fight like cats and dogs.
We got into some big ones.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm gonna tell you why too, because I told her that when we got married, that it didn't matter, even if it was our first week of marriage, that you would be spending the night sometimes, and if you so chose, you would be sleeping on the floor in our bedroom.
You did not tell me
I
that.
told her that. And she's like, is something wrong with you? And I'm like, he's my cousin, and I love him. and if he wants to spend the night over here, he's spending the night. Yeah, it's a little bit twisted up.
Women want to get their little corner and want to make sure they get it right before, So
Of course.
And then there was some battles that took place over the years.
You were both possessive of me. Yeah, so good stuff, man. Also, looking forward to the future. Gonna get Freddie Prinze Jr. back on.
Freddie, come back.
Yeah, gonna get him back on the podcast.
Any fool can see.
Had a great time talking to him, man.
You weren't paralyzed. You played a joke on me.
Boom,
Freddie, come
boom,
back.
Boom.
I love Jeff Hardy. I did not know that was you. I don't know.
He's just like, it's like that's one of those things where you're like, this is going pretty good, and I don't know how to stop it.
I rhymed. No, what am I to rhyme this with? That's why I could never do like a battle rap. Where
Oh
you just
God,
start
that'd be
flowing.
it. Yeah, forget it. I would be destroyed on that. So, yeah. But anyway, we got Lloyd Irvin. He is on tap here. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for Lloyd Irvin.
that dial.
Welcome back to the Inside BJJ podcast. We would like to welcome on the line Lloyd Irvin. How you doing, Lloyd?
I'm doing great. Super fantastic as always.
It's good to have you back on. It's been a long time. You were one of the very first people that we had on the show, and we wanted to get you back in here. And obviously, a lot has happened since the last time that you were on. And I just wanted to start off with, what have you been up to lately? You haven't been too vocal in the media or the news, but what have you been up to lately since everything went down?
Because everything's been down, I've been doing the same thing we've been doing, training the guys. Like the guys last year, the women got a bunch of new world champions, a bunch of new guys coming up this year, a bunch of new girls coming up this year that should hopefully win the world championships this year, 2015. Went to a few new businesses, business ventures. Same old stuff. That doesn't change too much with me.
How many UFC fighters are you working with right now?
Right now, personally, we have 3, I think it is. 3, and then we have Sajara is going to make her Invicta debut this Friday, actually. And
Nice.
we have probably like 3 new guys that are right on the cusp of getting into the UFC. So we're building a whole new crop, whole new force of guys. It's a great time.
Is MMA a bigger focus for you now, or has it always kind of been the same as what it is?
Well, it's in the past, like it's always been a focus. Like I've been coaching in the UFC for 11 years. We had like the UFC champion. Our first UFC fighter was my student Brandon Vera, and like on the West Coast at Alliance, they focus more so on the MMA, and over here I'm building the jiu-jitsu guys and they're coaching MMA with them, and so we're doing the East Coast, West Coast thing. Now here on the East Coast in Maryland, I have probably for the last year and a half, I have barreled down, and what you saw me do with like the Metal Chasers, I'm now doing with the MMA guys also, to have some more homegrown guys here that will be built up to be UFC caliber. And I said, just in the last 18 months, we've had a couple guys get into the UFC. We have one fighter who's in the UFC, who's undefeated. But like I said, I have an entire stable crop of guys that will be, are definitely UFC caliber. They have the skill set from the boxing, striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, talent point. So, like I said, next 2, 3, 4 years, it's going to be pop like nothing, same old stuff.
Are you managing their careers too, and finding them fights as well as training them?
No, last 11 years I've been in the UFC, I've never managed anyone. I've helped like Mike Easton with some of this stuff. I never want to be a manager. Anytime you deal with money, friendships can be ruined. You deal with money, like just things go bad. I never was in it really for the money from the aspect of trying. Listen, my business model isn't to make money off jiu-jitsu fighters or MMA fighters. That's not my business model. I love the sport. I have a passion for the sport. I love helping people, whether it's jiu-jitsu or MMA. I love helping people reach their dreams. We have unique systems, unique processes, and we've been able to accomplish that. So I've personally stayed away from the management side of things.
Is it different trying to do this with like a Metal Chasers type program with mixed martial artists versus jiu-jitsu players?
No, I wouldn't say that, because the key thing is you have to get a group of people that all have the same goal, and you have to have a system that can help them attain that goal. And whether it's jiu-jitsu or whether it's MMA, as long as you have that process effect, you have to get a snowball effect. For us, for jiu-jitsu, I had a system. I had to find somebody outside myself to put in the system. That person was Mike Fowler. And then, we had Ryan Hall, and then the snowball effect started happening, and more people started coming in, and we had more homegrown guys. And you had people from outside that wanted to come in, and the snowball effect came, and you saw how big it got. No different from jiu-jitsu. Think about this, a lot of people don't know this, but the whole Alliance MMA and the whole Team Lloyd Irvin, the whole connection came from my student Brandon Vera. There was no Alliance MMA at first. There was no City Boxing at first. It was Team Lloyd Irvin. Brandon Vera was our big name MMA fighter. Brandon moved over to the West Coast. He started was training at a place called City Boxing. The City Boxing guy was his manager. We got into the UFC. We started knocking people out, submitting people. We tell them we want to win the heavyweight title and the light heavyweight title at the same time. His name started getting real big. Then later on, we had problems with the manager at City Boxing. He left, and after that, like I said, Brandon was a big name already. So Brandon moved on. He always had a dream to open a gym called Alliance because, like in jiu-jitsu now, people really, have that little crew. This crew can't train with that crew, with that team, can't train with this team. He always had the wrestler mentality where he wanted an alliance MMA where anyone and everyone that wants to fight MMA, doesn't matter what team you're from, we can all train together and we can also fight each other. And so from there, he started having some investors come in with Alliance MMA, and at that point, that's how Alliance MMA was born. And like I said, Team Lloyd Irvin, the DNA is inside of Alliance MMA. It came from us, and then we just grew from Brandon. Brandon was the star that everyone started attracting to. We got Phil Davis and Eric Delfier, who's an amazing coach. Had a promotion. He got Dominic Cruz over. Dominic Cruz, I remember I never forget when Dominic Cruz first came to Team Lloyd Irvin to Maryland to help Mike Easton train for a fight. Like he was real green. He was injured. I was going to help him with one of the injuries. Like I said, these guys, no one knew these guys. And like that's how the snowball effect came. Next thing you know, we got Phil Davis. From there, everything blew up. But it's the same process.
Right.
It starts from one person being good, then people see a person being good, and they, I wonder what they're doing. So people want to see, and you have your homegrown guys, and then snowball effect. So it's the same exact process.
Right.
We're just doing it over with the MMA guys. And I have some guys coming up that are going to be absolutely amazing.
I don't doubt that for a second that you have a lot of amazing talent coming up. Brandon Vieira at one time was one of the hottest things going around in mixed martial arts. You mentioned a lot of names of a lot of tough guys and a lot of guys that were good, and it from the outside looking in, it seems like those guys didn't want to be associated with you. I don't know if that's true or not, but do you feel betrayed in any way by any of those guys that you mentioned?
I don't feel betrayed by anybody because I always call this thing a smear campaign. I have proof that it's a smear campaign. I can speak on the smear campaign that from the very beginning to how it got into certain media, who the certain media connections were. I have a very clear path. When everything first happened, I hired this guy named Mike Rexdale. He's one of the world's leading forensic bounty hunters online as far as online defamation. You can Google him and see what the type of stuff that he does. But I from the very beginning, I had a very clear understanding of what was happening. And like I said, the people were going to the fighters' sponsors. They're going to the fighters, people that were financing some of these guys. MMA guys don't make a lot of money. So at the time, as hot as it was, each and every day, Bloody Elbow would come out with a new story about little tiny things, no matter what it was. So like they made a decision, like they had to go back away a little bit. I don't want to take a chance to hurt anybody's money. And like I said, but me and Brandon Rivera, like I said, when all said and done, me and Brandon Rivera are friends. He's like my son. And it's bigger than MMA. Like when his MMA career is over, none of these fans are going to be here for him. None of these people are going to be here for him in the media. But I'm going to still be here. You know what I'm saying? 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, we're still going to be here. So for me, like I always said, it's much bigger than what people are talking about, the training, the martial arts. Like when we talk about PLI and the family environment, so I've been here 17 years. If you look at a lot of the teams, a lot of our guys are homegrown. We have our guys that come in from other places just because we're doing good and people want to come in and be a part of it. But at the same time, we have homegrown guys. A lot of these big gyms, they don't have anybody that's ever been homegrown. It's a snowball effect.
But how does it feel when some of those homegrown guys that you had though are some of the guys that took off?
I don't have any homegrown guys that took off. I've never had a homegrown guy take off for me.
So if you haven't had any homegrown guys that have taken off, you've certainly had guys that have been with you for quite a while that took off.
Yes, for sure. But I understand they're not homegrown. These are guys that come from somewhere else and left their school and somewhere else they're here. I mean, it's just they left again. I mean, we can talk about why they left and all the different things like that. But there's a complete difference between a homegrown guy or gal and a person that came from the outside.
I got you. So getting back to, where some of the smear campaign, as you called it, those aren't my words. I'm just, that's how you refer to it. But getting back to when the incident took place with Matt Maldonado and Nick Schultz and all these things that happened, where were you when you received the news of what had happened, and what was your initial reaction?
Well, when I first found out about it, I was in Florida. I was having a mixed martial arts millionaire event, and I think it was in Orlando. And that's how I first, got wind of it. Someone told me that it happened, and like when I first read it, I was like, man, like you heard secondhand, thirdhand stories, you don't know exactly what to make out of it.
Yeah.
When I was in Florida, I got to speak to Matt and I got to speak to Nick, and they told me their side of the things, and I took it for that.
I mean, what was their side of the story?
They explained that there was a situation on New Year's at a party, and that they didn't do anything, and the cops were asking questions, and they didn't do anything. That was their position.
I know they were acquitted. And there was supposed to be video of evidence, which I always never quite got clear on. Do you know exactly why they were acquitted?
I have no idea. I never went to the court. It's been one day there. Their family paid for their lawyers. The lawyers gave their defense. And like I said, to know exactly what happened, I guess you have to be in the jury room.
So is it a rumor then? Because there were people saying that you were paying.
I believe BloodyKnuckle.com is the one who said he was
Bloody Elbow.
I had a hard time I personally had a hard time believing that you were paying for people's legal defense. It didn't quite make sense to me, but that is what they said.
So there's no truth to that.
No, I did not pay for the legal defense. What I did do was when I was in Florida, the guys told me that what happened. I said, listen, did you do it? And they were like, no, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. And when I spoke to, I forgot who I spoke to first, but I spoke to one, and they were saying they didn't do it. I spoke to the other, they said they didn't do it. And then I'm in Florida. I said, listen, you guys need to talk to a lawyer. I wouldn't talk to any police. You need to talk to a lawyer. And I didn't have any idea what's going on. I paid. I gave them, I think it was $200, $300 to get a lawyer to do the initial consultation. And after the initial consultation, I said, man, you have to talk to your parents. I said, don't say anything else. Talk to your parents and figure out what you're going to do.
Did they retain the same attorney that you referred them to?
No.
I think if I understand it correctly, from what I could gather, is what they were saying was that this thing that happened was consensual. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know the facts. I didn't really dig into it. All I know, one thing that I know for a fact is that when Mateo was offered a plea deal, Mateo said, I'd rather spend the rest of my life in jail than admit to something that I didn't do. And at different times, they were doing different plea deals. They were saying it was consensual. It was not rape, and that was the fact.
Were you concerned when the news broke that news from your own past would resurface because of this?
No, because the thing about the news from my own past, this is one thing that the Smear Campaign didn't understand. I have never, this is not something that's hidden. I've had my school for 17 years. Probably the first 10, 12 years, we have team meetings, for the team, and I would openly talk about it, because the situation that I was involved in, it could happen to anybody. And I said, I didn't want it to happen to other people, so I informed kids about it, talked to kids about it, and talk about how it happened and how you have to protect yourself. So it wasn't a thing everyone in PG County went to school, and it's a known thing. So it's not anything I'm scared of it coming out.
Why did you register the Lloyd Irvin Rape.com website if you were not concerned about it coming out? Oh,
because when everything started happening, like I said, I was 100% clear that it is a clear-cut smear campaign. When it comes to the online marketing, what's happening online, I'm sure what's happening. I had people that purchased literally 200 attack sites from me. I'm not sure if you remember Lloyd Irvin Rape Exposed. Now they have some other websites, but they were buying up domains to put attack sites and follow the history and the timeline for the stuff. So what I was doing, I was buying all the domains that had my name in it, with rape in it, rape attack, scam artist, all stuff like that, to protect my brand, LloydIrvin.com, and Lloyd Irvin is a trademark registration. I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my brand. If you look at any major corporation in the world, they all own thousands, if not tens of thousands of domains to protect their domain. Now, when we talk about people the smear campaign people attempted and tried to, and they actually put out there saying that I bought the domains to overtake Google and to protect this and that. Listen, if you go look at Bloody Elbow, every single time they put my name or my school's name or one of the guys' name, they put Lloyd Irvin Rape in the title tag. They put Lloyd Irvin Rape in the anchor text. They are the ones that are doing SEO on my name, and I'm buying domains for every anchor text that they do, every headline that they put. I'm buying domains to protect my name. That's what it was about.
How many domains previously to that one had purchased?
Say it one more time.
So, go ahead, Matt.
I mean, what was Bloody Elbow's agenda, and then who is Jordan Schultz, and why was he so angry and had so much, pretty much bad things to say about you?
All right, so let me talk about the Bloody Elbow thing. So Bloody Elbow goes back to this. There's a guy named Luke Thomas, and have you ever heard of Luke Thomas?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, he's from SB Nation. Luke Thomas was a Lloyd Irvin martial arts student. Luke Thomas and Steph Smith started a radio show in Lloyd Irvin's Martial Arts Academy, and they were doing a weekly show when Luke was first getting started, and they did the show inside of my facility. And so for a long time, Bloody Elbow was like a secret weapon for Team Lloyd Irvin. Anytime something happened or anytime we needed to get something in the news, we could talk to Luke, and Luke would get it in Bloody Elbow for us. And I'll give you a perfect example. When I very first had my home invasion, when me and Brandon Berry, we had the home invasion in my house, I contacted Luke and told Luke, I got a story for you, and told him about my home invasion. So he got the story, put it in the Bloody Elbow. He actually may have written it. I can't remember exactly, but it's in Bloody Elbow. You can see it right now today online. So he did the story. Then a blog called Deadspin. They're a really big blog. I had never heard of them at that point, but then they came back with a story basically saying I'm a liar. What I'm saying sounds like some Jackie Chan movie. Basically saying I made up this home invasion for marketing purposes or whatever. So I told Luke about it. Luke found out about it. So they did another story and went back at Bloody Elbow. But anyway, the point is that Luke Thomas is the connection to Bloody Elbow. And when Luke Thomas left after Ryan Hall got kicked out off our team, we had Luke Thomas left, Ryan left, and Steph left. So when Ryan Hall in 2013 decided to write his open letter, not mentioning anybody's name, but everyone knows who he's talking about, Ryan Hall's great friend is who? Luke Thomas. And guess who released Ryan Hall's open letter? Bloody Elbow, and by some guy named Brent Brookhouse. So now, if you look at 75 to 80% of all the stories breaking, they're all broke by Brent Brookhouse and Bloody Elbow, and it comes directly from Luke and Ryan. I know how it is. I know when Luke was on our team, I know how it was and how easy it is to get to Bloody Elbow and what's happening behind the scenes.
So does Luke run Bloody Elbow?
No, I mean, Luke moved on from that. I mean, he works for, I think he may be, don't quote me on this, but he may be like with MMAfighting.com now. And like he's big time. He's blown up a little bit. He has his own podcast, his own thing. And the weird thing is, like, I really like Luke. Luke has always been and appeared to be a stand-up guy. But when all this stuff went down, he never picked up the phone and contacted me or called me to get my side or talk to me about anything. And like I said, I don't blame him. Like I said, he's probably better friends with Ryan, and he just ran. If he believes what Ryan's saying, he's running with what Ryan's story is.
One of my things on all of this is, the piece they wrote, The Cult of Lloyd. They made a lot of claims that weren't really substantiated, as far as I could tell. And
not substantiated. It was crazy.
Yeah, and if what they're saying is true, and all that's true, why then would Ryan Hall, if all that's true, why would he not say anything until 2013?
Yeah, now check this out. So I have a website called thetruthaboutLloydIrvin.com, and I'm putting more stuff on it right now so we can actually show highlight exactly the timeline, because Ryan's a liar. Ryan is his own situation. But now, when we talk about this, so understand this. Ryan, can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
My phone just popped out.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I understand this. Ryan was kicked off our team in 2009. We had everything was going to be on Lloyd Irvin, the truth about LloydIrvin.com, but he was kicked off our team in 2009. He came back the day after and said that he was not kicked off the team. I mean, he was not kicked off the team, and he had quietly separated from the team, like 3 months, few months previous. Well, like I said, on LloydIrvin.com, you'll see the actual timeline, and then you'll see an email he sent to my instructor asking, and then send it to me, an email he sent to me asking, he heard that he's been kicked off the team, him, Jen, and Steph, and if this is true. Like I said, why would he be asking if this is true if he actually separated me from me 3 months ago? You know, he's a liar. And he was kicked off the team because he was teaching at an affiliate school, our Lloyd affiliate school, and at one of our team trainings, one of the affiliates came out and showed proof to everybody, all the black belts, all the heads of the schools, undeniable proof that Ryan plotted behind their back, was using their email system to solicit their students, stealing information from them to go open his own school. And that was the reason why Ryan Hall got kicked off the team. Now, a lot of people try to say, oh, well, Lloyd must have robbed them or must have took money from him. It had to be money, he was cheating them. You know, as long as Ryan was away from the team, I was happy. I didn't care about trying to dispel the rumors of why the break. You know, it's been, 8 years now. I've never even spoke about it. But with his open letter, you have to understand, like, if you on Lloyd Irvin, the truth about LloydIrvin.com, I have emails. I'm going to have emails where you can see Ryan writing me, thanking me, tell me that he would never do anything to let anyone know anything of problems. He appreciates everything I've done for him. So you can read all this stuff yourself, but it's step by step. And as you read more and more, thank you. How's your family doing? How's Vicky doing? Hope you have a great holiday. Thanks for talking to me at the Abu Dhabi. You say, I really did what I said. It wasn't for you. Like all this stuff. And now, 5 years later, you want to write an open letter. You want to go around to all my friends and all the fighters and try to rile them up to get them on their side, saying it's not going to end well for me. Like, what's his agenda? I mean, it's like, how you go? Was he lying to me the entire time, saying these nice things, or was he just waiting for this big day? Because what I know to be a fact is that ever since he got kicked off the team, he told people on our team that he was going to get, no matter what it was, he was going to try to get me. If his last thing he does with me before he dies, he was introducing, contacting people on the team, asking them to take him out to dinner, trying to talk to them, trying to get people to leave with him when he left. And none of our guys left, and all the guys told us I knew everything that he was doing. But he was doing this even before he got kicked off the team. If you don't know Ryan personally and have dealt with him, you have no idea how manipulative and diabolical he is. In your face, he's a nice guy, smiling, little young kid. But behind the scenes, anyone who's trained with him for any period of time have seen it. The guy's crazy.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but on the other side of it, I have never heard anybody say that about Ryan, and I've never seen that behavior from him. So it's that is a little bit hard for me to digest.
Very hard for you. I understand. Trust me, I do.
Let me ask you about the truth about LloydIrvin.com, because on this site you have a wanna see it all where you could sign up to get access to it. How do you respond to criticism that this is just another way for you to get some affiliate marketing in?
Well, I understand this. So if I get affiliate marketing, I have to ask this question. Do you know the last time I ever promoted or marketed a product in the BJJ industry?
It's probably been the Grappling Blueprint or something. It's been a while.
Actually, it was probably the Chimera Trap, and before the Chimera Trap, it was probably the Grappling Game Plan. When I came into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu industry with the internet marketing, it was you can make $1 million $2 million, $200,000, you know, with no problem. But it's not a big industry where I put all my focus on. Like, I came in, I was trying to help people, educate people what I was doing with my business. At the same time, trying to help other people, show them different ways that they can make some money to help support their competition, help them do that. And I've done that. Like I said, probably 75-80% of everyone that's selling products online has either learned directly from me and or watched me.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, and I would also make this statement. There's a lot of people who are using, and I'm just going to call them this because this is how the jiu-jitsu community refers to them, Lloyd Irvin marketing tactics on their websites. There's a ton of them, and it's easy for me to identify, but I don't know if everybody else realizes that.
Correct, and it's a fact. But when they do it, it's no problem, or they're trying to be ethical with it. But when I do it, it's evil, monstrous, diabolical. It's just silliness.
How do you respond to some of the statements that Mike Fowler has made?
Oh man, Mike Fowler. It is it's very disturbing in the beginning, but like I said, I know everything that happened with Mike Fowler, even stuff that no one's speaking about. So he's gone like crazy in my mind. Do you want to know the truth about how everything went down, Mike, with me?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, so I'm sitting at my mom's bedside, and Mike Fowler sends me a text message, and it says, Tracy told me what you guys did in San Diego. You discussed me. And when I got that, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Mind you, just 2 or 3 days before this, I'm on the phone with Tracy. Tracy wants to come down the road. Her and Mike, may not have been Mike, but she sent flowers to my mom. She had the address, sent flowers to my mom with her and Mike's name on it. She wants to talk about wanting to compete in the BJJ Kumite, and this one who have women's division. She wanted to come train with us, and she asked could she come down. So I'm in a full-blown conversation with her. And this is like at the time my mom first came out with cancer. We were at the hospital.
And
so
just for the listeners, real quick, Tracy was Mike Fowler's wife, right?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, what is your email address?
InsideBJJ@gmail.com.
InsideBJJ@gmail?
Yep.
.com. Yeah, so...
Are you signing me up right now for The Truth About Lloyd Irvin?
No, I'm getting ready to send you something I want you to check out. Yeah, so when I got that, it was like, man, I'm not dealing with this crap. I have no idea. And understand this also, too. This is when, listen, every single day a new news story is popping out. It's just coming out. Everything's coming out, and I'm not trusting anybody. Like, I hired a team of people to make sure. Give me the word in my mind, losing about that.
So you said you know, Mike Fowler, he calls you. He says like, hey, I heard about Tracy in San Diego, and you were at your mom's bedside.
So at the time, I'm not entertaining it. Also, Tracy called me and let me know that Nagapon called her, and all these people are plotting against me, and how Ryan wants me dead, and all this stuff like that. And at that point, I'm like, man, I didn't reply to Fowler. So at that point, it's basically he goes crazy and keeps going and saying what he's saying, and I'm breaking people for 25 years, and fuck Lloyd, and fuck this, and this is what he's doing, and he's not saying. But listen, the entire time Mike's talking, Mike's not saying nothing. He's just throwing out, I'm a rapist for 25 years. Like, what does that mean? I mean, like, where are the people that were raping? One, he hasn't even known me for 20 plus years. I haven't had the school for 20 plus years. So he's just rambling. Like, you can mention anything that Mike has said. I can just, it's nothingness. He hasn't said nothing. Like, what has he said, really?
How does Jordan Schultz fit into all this? Because he said it seemed like when I was reading, he had the most that it seemed like he had to say that was about, all this crazy stuff about you.
I always think Jordan says that I am assaulting women. I'm assaulting students at my school. I'm doing sexually inappropriate things with women. I'm propositioning women. And there's a bunch of women that are out there, but he didn't say anything either. I mean, what did he talk about? Let me say this to you. Jordan Schultz is a fucking liar. Jordan Schultz is a maniac. See, and I feel bad because my history has shown that I take people in that have different stories. They come to me with different stories. People have warned me about Jordan Schultz and how he wherever he leaves, wherever he goes, he leaves a wake of destruction. I had people from Baltimore and New York come tell me about it. I had people from Alliance tell me about it. He told me all these apologies. He came with this story. He was a broke guy. These bad things were happening to him. That bad thing was happening to him. He wants a chance. And then, like I said, Keenan liked him. Anderson liked him. And like I said, so I took a vote. And there were a few guys that didn't want him to come. A few guys did want him to come. He came. And like I said, one thing I'll say about Jordan, though, he, as far as being bright, he was very, very sharp. He learns fast. His thing was he doesn't have a lot of time for nothing jiu-jitsu. He wants to learn internet marketing. He needs a mentor. He wants me to help him. And so the guy Jordan worked so fast, it's something I had him doing. He was working fast and he's really good. So we formed a partnership, and I started getting like $5,000 here, $10,000 here, sending him to these trainings. And at these trainings, so he can learn affiliate marketing, he can learn all these events. He came to my event, and he started coming to my mastermind groups. I started letting him he started getting skilled. I started letting him speak in some of my internet marketing masterminds with my guys in certain areas about creating membership sites. Next thing you know, we started making money $1,000 a day, $2,000, $3,000 a day, and things started rolling a little bit. And next thing you know, he wants to start throwing events. He wants to have his own mastermind. I said, listen, we got to slow down. Everything that we're doing, I'm putting all the money up. I'm doing all the introductions. I'm training him. And like I said, we're 50-50. Well, once the money started coming in, he started getting funny. He started disappearing and all these things. And understand this. I'm the person that's paying for his house. I'm paying for where he's living. I'm giving him gas money. I'm giving him food to eat because he doesn't have any money. So now all of a sudden, like I said, the motives are simple. Everybody, every single person that has ever come out and verbally attacked me, it's either a money type situation or a business type situation or a personal vendetta type situation. And with Jordan, like I said, now he goes away and he all of a sudden gets to do what? Gets to keep 100% of the money. I mean, it's not 50-50, it's 100% of the money. And right now, if you go to Google and type in Jordan Schultz rip-off report Instagram or Jordan Schultz rip-off report Mobile Mad Hatter, you'll see an ungodly amount of people that he's scamming. Jordan has gone to the scamming world. And I understand this. He's just bought like an AMG 63 Mercedes, $100,000+ Mercedes, and he's living the lifestyle. And you follow him. He's living the lifestyle. You understand this? Whatever lifestyle he's living has come from what I taught him. But I did not teach him anything to do with scamming. So then, the smear campaign tried to paint the MMA millionaires and paint me as a scamster. We handled that with lawsuits and took care of that. But what Jordan's doing, man, you don't do it. People you go there yourself, Google it, click those things, read it yourself. What he's doing. This is real stuff. And I had people come down here to Maryland asking questions here. I said, listen, I don't have nothing to do with him. The guy lives in California. Y'all need to go there. I don't have any paperwork with him. I don't have anything. I don't want any trouble. People sending messages on Twitter, these Jordan scam sites. Contact me. Or do you know Jordan's whereabouts? It's silly stuff. But Jordan has this team of lawyers right now, and if people go online and say anything about him, he sends the lawyers after him, and he's making money from what I understand. He's getting money, but he's scamming people, and he's making a lot of money while he's doing it. But he's got to be careful. But understand that it's just another money thing. He's a fucking liar. He's lied at every place he went to. And right now on your show, I want to make a public apology to Jockeray for lying. I was warned. I have the highest and greatest respect for Jacare. And I made a mistake. I have a soft spot for people who have style stories and want a chance to improve their lives. You know what I'm saying? I do these marketing events. I help people with the MMA millionaires. I have these mastermind events. I like helping people. I got these guys, Keenan or guys I don't even know who want to come here. I give them opportunity. I don't even know these guys. It's not like these guys were world-class killers before they came here. I gave guys opportunities, and that's what I do. And Jordan was one that just, got greedy. He's out here doing. I'm not even sure if he does juice anymore.
You talk about all those guys you helped, and considering that really horrible things have been said about you by these people that we're talking about that, could ruin some people's lives forever. I kind of feel like some of these dudes, personally, like your Vieiras, your Dominic Cruz, Phil Davis, Keenan, that especially if it's all not true, that either way they have some sort of obligation to say this is true or this is not true.
Well, the thing is that when you come to sponsors, it's like a business type decision. Like there's Brandon Vera, I speak to him often. I speak to Dominic Cruz, my dad, Phil Davis, my man. There's no love lost with our friendship, but like I said, with the propaganda that they, in the very beginning, they had a very, very thing. And people get scared. I'm telling you this. People get scared. Like I understand this. First of all, like this whole propaganda and all this smear campaign and all the lynch mob. I mean, these are like little nerd geeks behind the computer that they're internet trolls. And you can see people like in Reddit, on CBS News, these trolls get outed, and now you think it's some 45-year-old father that has 3 kids and daughters. I watch these stories. These are the trolls. It's like the kids, the guys like 20 years old, 22 years old, 21 years old, they just want to compete. They just want to train. You know what I'm saying? And now you have police officers coming in, drawn down with AK-47s and machine guns and guns, handcuffing the guys, having them question them, and now you got parents, families, friends, you got all the forums saying, Lloyd Irvin's a child molester, Lloyd Irvin raped people, his black belt Mike Fowler thing, he's been raping 20 people 20 years, blah, 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 all this crap. And it comes to a point that's a lot,
So Lloyd,
parents
let me ask you though. So if and I don't know Mike Fowler and I don't know Jordan Schultz. I don't know any of the guys actually that were with you there. But why would they conspire against you, or is this not a conspiracy? It's just a bunch of isolated incidences. Like, what's their purpose? Why would Jordan?
Whose purpose? Like who?
Well, why would Mike Fowler say the things he said about you? Why would Jordan Schultz take off? Why would Ryan Hall come out and say these things? Like, what's their motivation?
Well, I think I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I'm not at the top, but like I said, I was up there. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm up there. I'm doing what I do. I'm loud. I'm in your face. Like I have high-level marketing events. Everyone in the martial arts industry is at my event. I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I have guys winning world titles. We got this reality show. I mean, if you look at as far as me being an industry leader, everything I've done, people either try to knock off or follow my footsteps. And Ryan hated that. And Ryan's motivation is simply this. Ryan, like I said, you don't know Ryan, but Ryan thinks he's God's gift to jiu-jitsu. When he was a blue belt purple, he would tell me how Hickson Gracie has this wrong, and Nogueira has this wrong. And I said, man,
are you serious?
I'm always open for people to expand their mind, but he is so self-centered, and he thinks he has it. And the thing was, he couldn't do it right now. He said, well, I can't do it right now, but I have the time, and I'll get it. And like I said, I'll give credit where credit is due. He does have a very unique mind for jiu-jitsu for himself. But I told him a long time ago, you cannot teach jiu-jitsu the way you think about it because people don't realize it and people don't experience it like that. And like I said, one thing when we put something on video and the world gets to see it and people all over the world can see, oh, wow, you speak so clear, it makes sense. You have an excellent way to teach, and which is true. And he's an excellent video instructor. But think about this. He's thought about and mentioned all the time as some of the best instructors in the entire world, right? But at the same time, at his school, he's been there for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and he hasn't even created a blue belt world champion. Not a blue belt champion world homegrown. He hasn't even had people, all the people who come there to train with the great Ryan Hall, he hasn't even turned any of them into a world champion. Not one single person.
How would you answer the criticism that people say that about you with the black belts, though?
Oh man, I haven't. Like I'm clear. Understand this. When I created a blue belt world champion, it wasn't you never created a purple belt world champion. When you created a purple belt world champion, you never created a brown belt world champion. Now, when I created a brown belt world champion, I created a black belt champion. But what I will say is this: not one single person besides Saulo Ribeiro has ever, we'll say Saulo Ribeiro and we give it to Andre Pederneiras, has ever created a black belt world champion as American, okay? And Saulo got Lovato when he was a black belt, and Pederneiras got BJ Penn when he was brown black belt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's only two people. So if I am in the field with everyone else in the world, I mean, take the top team, I'm no different than them, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm in the forefront, so you're thinking about, well, you haven't created a black belt world champion, but who else has? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else has? Right now we have Tim Spriggs, who's going to be vying for a black belt world championship. The other two Americans that are going to be vying for a black belt world championship came from me. So make sure you understand what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about JT and Keenan?
Yeah, I fully believe JT and Keenan are going to win Black Belt World Championship. I believe they're going to win it when they were here. I believe they're going to win it someday when they're at Atos. I believe that.
Do you ever talk to those guys?
Next generation.
You ever talk to Keenan or JT? Do you ever talk to Keenan or JT?
I talk to Keenan. I don't talk to JT.
Interesting. Keenan, I mean, it's been a bright spot in the jiu-jitsu world. He's pretty damn talented.
What belt was he? Sorry. What belt was he when you first started working with him? Was he a purple belt or a blue belt?
Who?
Keenan.
Purple belt, yes.
So, I mean, really, Keenan really was your champion, but, he left at that, but he really was going to be your guy that was going to be a black belt champion. Or is
no
maybe
doubt.
even.
No doubt. Like no one knew him. He wasn't winning at the time. And like I said, we got him to the level, he won everything purple belt. Got a double grand slam. At brown belt, I think he only lost one for Faisal. He was undefeated in that. And then everything, when he left, like I said, he was still undefeated brown belt. Like I said, he's a guy. He's a man.
Do you feel like there is in the jiu-jitsu community a bias against you?
Of course. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Do you feel like there is a bias against you in the IBJJF?
IBJJF, no.
So, do you feel like there are people who do not do you feel like there are people in the IBJJF who do not want you to succeed in terms of building a successful world champion?
I can't say it. I mean, like I've been very vocal with my problems with the IBJJF, the reffing. I attend all the black belt meetings. They're trying to work on it, but like I said, I still feel today, as long as you have guys that are on the other team that are reffing matches and have friends that have deep roots to them, I mean, it's always going to be some bias. You know, it's like it's kind of like a natural thing. Like if you're refereeing for a guy and you have the opportunity to give advantage or not give advantage, and he's your friend from the last 20 years against some guy who's, you don't even know who he is. I mean, and it's kind of up in the air. I mean, some people are doing it. Like I've seen like a lot of bad calls. The IBJJF is doing a great job trying to institute new rules, but like I said, my position to them, and I always put my word out there, until you remove and that X factor where you put it in the referee's hands where they have the ability to sway a match, then it's always going to have a possibility for bad calls to happen. But I don't believe that IBJJF is out against Lloyd Irvin, or out against me personally. Like I say, it's just IBJJF has bad calls. I mean, I've seen guys who have world champions and have strong teams and big name guys who get bad calls too. And when that call happens, they have a problem. They're yelling, they're screaming too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a reffing problem. But like I said, IBJJF is trying to work on it. But it takes time. It takes time, and they always talk to the head of of all the teams, and they're working on it. But like I say, I'm not happy. My number one position is this: I believe they should allow us to put up money for a call that we feel that we should be able to get it reviewed. Because when you go to semifinals and finals, like, man, like the rules had to be standard across the board. Like we had, like, there's a position right now, like Tim passed a double under, and in one tournament, we're going to get disqualified because they're saying we're slamming the person when we're trying to pick up the double under. And then other matches, people have been picking up all double under the entire time, slamming people on the head, and they're not even getting a warning. So, like, if it's illegal or you get a warning or you get disqualified, that's fine. But let us know, let it be even across the board, because we won't do it anymore.
Do you think that do you think in the jiu-jitsu world that there's a bias against you, and do you think that a part of that is because you're black?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we can go step by step for things that have happened in other scenarios and other situations. Like, I give you an example right now. There's a person who's known for trying to put together gossip and news stories about sexual assaults and stuff like that all throughout the BJJ community. Right now, they're covering up one of the biggest sex crimes. I won't say crime. One of the biggest sex scandals in all of Texas right now as we speak. And these people first came out and made a little soft blurb about it this past Friday, but haven't wrote any stories. You don't see any stories in Bloody Elbow. You haven't seen any stories on any other media site. But if that had been Lloyd Irvin, it would be on Bloody Elbow. It would be in every media site. There would be blogs about it. There would be stories about it. It would be in the forum. There would be blasting it. Like, why is that? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, why is there a person? Why? And what I'm saying is, this person that's in town now is Alice Stolen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they're talking about, oh, be careful of lawsuits. I don't care about lawsuits. They can try to sue me out, defend my own lawsuit. I got the money to handle my own lawsuit. So please sue me. All right? Alice Stolen. And one day he comes up and says all of a sudden he closes his school. They're switching the ownership of the school to somebody else to start another school, and he's disappearing. His website's down within 24 hours. People are putting numbers like everyone knows that. People have heard the rumors and the alleged activities for the last few years about Alvin Solis. And make sure you understand that Alvin Solis is one of the guys that was out here bashing TLI. He's doing an interview with the reporter girl. With Nick Schultz, and he's out there anti-Team Lloyd Irvin. And now he's caught up himself in the biggest sex thing in Texas right now. Tony Harris, who was in the MMA Millionaires, came to my event. He comes out and he's anti-Team Lloyd Irvin, anti-Team. These guys are this, these guys are that. Then he, guess what happened to him? He gets accused of sexual assault. He gets arrested. He's in jail. Where are all the blog posts on him?
You know,
where are all the stories on him?
The other guy that was
not there.
The other guy that was real vocal, I just noticed, which was the guy they call War Machine, who ended up going to prison for beating and raping somebody. But he was all, you know, it seemed like there was a lot of people that were happy when all this bad stuff came out on you. It seemed like a lot of people were happy to hear it. And I can tell you that I myself have experienced the internet warriors and the because when this first came out, all I said was that, you know, that these guys were acquitted. So how do I know if they're guilty? And that you were acquitted. So how do I know that you're guilty? And the next thing I knew, I look on the internet and someone starts a thread that I'm a rape apologist and that basically that I'm for rape. And I'm like, thanks a lot. For the rest of my fucking life, if somebody Google searches me, it's going to have my name next to rape. So I get what you're saying, because I got put in there just a little bit just on this podcast just for not, you know, jumping the gun and saying that you're guilty of something that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, I mean, everybody who, you can name everybody who came out like loud, like you said, War Machine. Yeah, Tom Cowles came out loud. Like, understand that Tom Cowles is a woman beater. He has a domestic abuse charge, and now he'll say that, oh, he went to anger management and try to laugh it off. But regardless of the fact, he's beat a woman. Like, he's a woman beater. So now he's coming out, like, and he had financial things in the game. He thinks he's in like a martial arts consultant. We're two different things. I charge $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 for my coaching group. He charges $10 or whatever his thing is. Like, we do separate things. And he's no threat to me, and like he just come out yelling blah 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 blah. It's just James Valentine. James Valentine is a former student. He's out there talking about. I tried to recruit him to be a metal chaser, and he didn't want. Like James Valentine was never a metal chaser. In fact, James Valentine was the type person that they wanted him kicked off our team. Listen, he bit Mike Fowler's dick in training, and he bit Tyrone Glover on purpose because they were beating him. Everyone's coming to me like, come on, you got to kick this guy out. You got to save him. He's biting Mike Fowler. He's biting Tyrone Glover, who was a guest at our facility. But Mike Fowler had to go to the doctor. Had to go to the hospital. And I talked to James, and he was apologizing. Like that, everyone's looking bad at me because I didn't kick him out off the team. And now I keep him on the team, and then he leaves. He goes to San Francisco. He trains with Health Gracie, gets his black belt. Like that, I'm not even talking to him. He comes out and writes this nice, long letter about me, talking about how it wasn't for me and how I helped him so much, blah, blah, blah. And then when the TLI stuff comes out, he wants to be out there shouting and talking. And now this guy's cheating on his wife. And he ended up getting a divorce over this cheat. Like, you're out here cheating on your wife. You sit there talking like all these people have baggage. The ladies out here, like, alleged. She'd have an alleged affair with allegedly resulted in her recent divorce. And like every single one of them have shit in their past. Every single one of them has stuff like, but they're still not saying anything. I mean, like when I had this investigator, we got so much information. They're not saying anything. Like no one's saying anything. Can you check your email real quick?
Yeah, I checked it.
All right. So you look at your email. That is an email. What I'm going to ask you to not. You don't have to say, we'll talk about it, but keep this private because I just want to make a clear point. What I just sent you was a communication between me and Mike Fowler's mother. Now, what I will say is this. You have my permission right now on this interview. Please read me what Mike Fowler's mother's response to me was.
I'll read it. And this is what you sent me. I just going to throw it out there. I have no way of knowing who actually sent this to you or whatever, but I'll read it. It says, I believe you, Lloyd, and I never believed Tracy or Michael. I knew she was trouble from the very beginning, and look how she screwed up not only his life but his head. Passing off Thor as his son is incomprehensible. You did a lot for Michael, and I really appreciate it.
Wow, that was pretty heavy.
Now, understand this. Even right now, as I'm talking to you, I still got love for Mike. Like, and what happened to him, I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy. And so when he's out here saying, fuck Lloyd, and he's out here saying, I've been raping women for 20 years, like, I mean, he's straight up lying. And
why would he do that, though? Like, why would he just say, I'm just going to start making up lies about Lloyd Irvin?
I mean, I don't know. Since that text, I never spoke to him. Now, let me tell you this. I have another message, and I can send that to you later, from the redhead reporter, where she breaks down what her belief was with Mike. All right. So I understand it. So let's get down to like some more facts just so it's clear. So Mike Fowler comes to ask for opportunity to train in Maryland with me full time. I allow him to, and he lives with me. I put him in my house. He's not out here in the fighter house and like that. He lives with me. All right. So this goes on. Don't quote me on the exact time. He lives with me for a year, 2 years, and then he moves with Master Donnie and them. And then we're training. And in 3.5, 4 years, he gets his black belt. 3.5 years, he gets his black belt. Then he moves to San Diego, right? So mind you, those 3.5, 4 years, I must have been raping people based upon what he's saying. All right, so then he moves to San Diego. And he stays in San Diego for, let's say, 1 year, okay? And then from San Diego, he moves to Guam. And so now 5 years or so, I'm raping people. He's out in San Diego away from me because I heard Mike said that once you're in the cult, it's hard to even realize that you're in the cult. But understand now we're in San Diego and we're now what? Out of the cult. But then he moves to Guam. He's in Guam for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. And he called me out of the blue one day after him and Tracy came for a holiday, and they want to, train. They go back, and then he called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, I want to be a world champion again. Can me and Tracy come back?" And actually, Tracy called me, and then Mike called me, and then so they come. So I allow them to come back. I get a house for Mike, put him and Tracy up, and now they're back here. So understand this. So now he's here for 4 years already, people. Then he leaves for a year. He's out of the cult. And then he's in Guam for a year and a half or so. He's out of the cult. And then all of a sudden he comes back to me and calls me and wants to, come back into the cult? Was he really in the cult, or was he not in the cult? Or was he out of it yet, or was he not out of it yet? But either way, he not only does he want to come back, he wants to come back and bring his girlfriend, all right? So what type of sense does that make? Makes absolutely no sense, okay? So then he comes back, and now they're living here, and we're chilling, and we're so forth. And let me tell you something, another ironic turn of events, because when Mike sent me that message when I was with my mother in the hospital, I had just spoken to Tracy about her coming back. She wanted to come back and train. She wanted to come see my mom, and things were so good that I called Bert. There's a guy named Berto. He's at one of the owners of Purebred Guam. And I called Bert. I said, "Listen, Bert, I'm not sure what the problem between me and Mike Fowler is, but I want you to do me a favor. Can you fix it for me?" And he said, "I'll do my best, boss, but I don't think the problem is Mike. I think the problem is Tracy." And when he said that, I said, "Okay, I said, all right, well, do your best." And he said, "I will." And at that point, I didn't have any doubt, because I already talked to Tracy. Tracy's cool. Tracy wants to come train. So then it's all good. And then that's when I get the text message from Mike with his crazy old message, not knowing what's going on. And that's when I just ignored it. So, if you see the whole, what is he saying? He hasn't said nothing. He's just going on a rampage. But what it does do is this. So for not Mike Fowler, for all the people in the lynch mob and all the smear campaign, they now have a guy that was really close to Lloyd and lived with Lloyd and trained with Lloyd and got his black brother Lloyd. And if anyone would know, he would know, right? So, what did he know? I mean, what is he saying? He hasn't said nothing.
But what would that really also say about him if all these things are true and you've done all these things for all these years, and for all these years that he's with you, and for all these years he's never said a word until now? I mean, if all that was true, then what does that say about him as well?
Not only that, do you think that he would have seen me raping people for 4 years, left, and assumed I was raping people for another 3 years, so 70 years of pure raping, and then he wants to bring his wife and his girlfriend back to train with us with all the rapists? Come on. What type of sense does that make?
I don't.
Unless you want people to believe that those 3.5 years he was away from us, he was still influenced and caught up in the cult.
I understand what you're saying, but from somebody's standpoint who's on the outside, can you see that it's very hard for somebody to take everything that you say and one, believe it 100%, and two, have empathy for you?
Well, the thing is, you know me, and you've heard my interviews for a long time. I don't need empathy from anybody. All right. One of the reasons I agreed to do this entire interview is because on my mom's deathbed, she told me that, because I have my son who's named Lloyd, and she told me that if you allow everyone else to put on the forums or put online what their thing is, when they're just flat out lying, if you allow that and don't have your information out there, your son, people at your school, new people from your school, no one will have the true side of the story, or no one will have your side of the story. So one thing is, this is my side of the story, and people can listen to it, they can break it down, they can think about it, and they can say, well, I don't believe him. Well, I believe him. Wow, that makes sense. Because for me, on our side, understand this, on our side, we know Mike Fowler at the back of our hand. There's stuff that we would never even mention or even talk about that has happened to him, which is sad, and things that have gone on that we won't bring up. But man, the guy's been tormented. You know what I'm saying? And part of the thing, he blames me for, whatever part he feels that I contributed to as far as this text he sent me. Also, on our team, he tells everyone these stories about how I didn't believe in him and how I didn't support his goal of becoming a world champion. Well, when he came back, I'm a realist. I have a problem with lying to people that have goals and come to me and trust me. So there was a point that Mike Fowler said, hey, like, he sat me down. We were at a place called Chicken Kebab in Axtee, Maryland. He sat down and asked me face to face. He said, do you believe I can be a black belt world champion? And I told him no. And later on, I found out that was one of the, like Tracy told me, that conversation really hurt him. But listen, you cannot be training half-time. Like, Mike's all in love. Like, if you're not focused on jiu-jitsu, you're training every so often. You're not training every day. You're not doing your drill. You're not doing these things. And you kind of burn out. I don't believe anyone in that situation can win a black belt world title. So I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, I do think you can do it, doing what you're doing. I don't believe that. There was another time, like, Master Daniel's guy told me that he had a problem that when we were in Europe, and he had just lost to, I think it was Guto Campos, the Europeans. He was coming over talking to me. But JT was going to come up and go compete against Michael Lange. So as he was talking to me, I said, I'd go coach Lange. Well, I hear these stories about how he says that I walked away from him, I turned my back on him to JT, and JT was newer on the team. But listen, Mike fought, Mike lost, JT's up. I need to go coach JT, and then after JT's finished, I can come back and talk to him. But like people get in their feelings so much. But like I don't really know it. At the same time, I have a lot of people that don't believe me. I have a lot of supporters. I mean, people that come on behind the scenes and talk to me. People that have publicly stepped out in the fire and supported me. People that are influenced. I mean, like one guy, Hilda Gracie. Hilda Gracie sent a message to me for support like that, and he is somebody I absolutely idolize as far as his fighting spirit, his martial arts, his background, his whole life, like that. And when you have people like that, I'm not worried about like the community per se. You know what I'm saying? I love the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. People use it lightly. Like there's different types of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu communities. You have the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, the people who have created blogs or created websites, or forum. There's a forum crew. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, like when we go to Brazil, we go to IBJJF, and we have these black belt meetings and stuff like that. Like the people who are real influencers, like that's the BJJ community I'm thinking about too. Not these people that never even been to Brazil or so it's like different. You know,
I understand.
I don't think about it.
I understand what you're saying, and there's a lot of layers to it when you refer to the community of jiu-jitsu. But let me ask you this, because we asked you a lot of questions, and and I told you straight up as soon as you answer the phone, like I didn't send you questions ahead of time. I didn't tell you exactly what we were going to ask, but I said, hey, we're going to ask you some tough questions, and that's just how it is. You want to still do it or not, and you agreed to do it, and I appreciate that. I do want to ask you if you could speak to the jiu-jitsu community, and I'm talking about like the basic jiu-jitsu community, not the Brazilian people, the real move makers. I'm talking about the common folks, the people that are reading Bloody Elbow, the people that are on SureDog, the people who are on the Atama Jiu-Jitsu forum. I'm talking about all that, and the people that run all their blogs and their Tumblr sites and whatever, right? What do you want them to know about you, Lloyd Irvin? What's your statement to them?
My statement is this. In this entire scenario, there was a complete smear campaign. If there's something that I did wrong, I'll take credit for it. But let me give you the example from the beginning. January 2013, there was a New Year's Eve incident. One guy, Mateo, had been on my team for less than 30 days. The other guy, Nick Schultz, had been on my team for about 9 months. One came to me as a purple belt, was still a purple belt. Mateo came to me as a brown belt, world champion from Alliance, came to me, he was on the team for 30 days. They try to say that these are team motivated guys, that we bred this, they try to turn it into, we have a rape culture. We did not have a rape culture. Lloyd Irvin martial arts has been involved teaching kids, teaching adults, teaching women for 17 years. In that 17-year period, the first time we've ever had any situation like this was January 2013. And the people that, the two outsiders, one who had been with us for 30 days, one had been with us for nine months. These guys had this situation with another student that was on our team, and they went to court, and they went to trial, and they handled it. No matter how people feel about the result, that was that. That was not a representation of Lloyd Irvin's Martial Arts Academy or Team Lloyd Irvin or what we do in any way, shape, fashion, or form.
What about the victim? What would you say to her?
What I say to her is the same thing. If she's listening to this, everything that I said to her was 100% true. She called me and said, Master Lloyd, if they get off, will they be allowed back on the team? I said, no. She said, are you sure? I said, absolutely, positively not. First of all, it must be said that when the situation happened, they were kicked off the team. They were never a member of the team or allowed the team, and Lloyd Irvin paid for their court fees. They were kicked off the team. One. Two, not even because of the sexual assault and what happened in the basement or whatever eventually happened. They were kicked off the team because they left her in the basement, in the garage, on a cold flare, and that's not what we do.
That's pretty heinous
in
right
any
there.
way, shape, fashion.
In and of itself.
Say again?
In and of itself, that part was pretty heinous of the whole situation, no matter what.
100%. And because of that fact, they could no longer be on our team in any shape, fashion, or form. Now, what happened with her, people got in her ear and started telling her these lies and make her believe these things. How can someone say I paid? I'm not. Their legal fees is probably like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. I'm not paying. I didn't pay legal fees. Like I said, it's so much stuff. These stories. When it comes to propaganda, one of the propaganda, you can Google propaganda and look at the Wikipedia. One of the things with propaganda is to make the ship seem like it's sinking, make it seem like people are leaving, so that if that starts happening, so let me have a right. Alliance MMA cut ties with Team Lloyd Irvin. Team Lloyd Irvin lost the biggest affiliate in Beta Academy. The mass exodus of male chasers crippled Team Lloyd Irvin. Listen, understand this. Within 7 days after this mass exodus of male chasers crippled Team Lloyd Irvin, we go to Boston Open and we win the entire Boston Open. You don't see anything like that. Oh, how are we crippled? These are just stories. This person leaves Team Lloyd Irvin. That person cut ties with Team Lloyd Irvin. See, that was out there trying to make people say, well, man, oh my God, the shit must be sinking, so it has to be something bad. But what's bad?
Do you feel like well, I'm not even going to suggest that. Let me ask you this: do you have any contact with the victim today?
No, none at all.
So when is the last time you guys spoke?
The last time I spoke to her, off the top of my head, I think would have been that day that she called and asked if they got off, would they be allowed to be on the team anymore.
Without divulging identity or information or whatever, do you know if she's still training or involved in jiu-jitsu?
I do not know. She's still friends with people that are here. If I don't ask about those types of situations, I don't want any unnecessary trouble.
So is that the finality? I mean, I know I asked you to speak to the jiu-jitsu community, and I did throw in a couple extra questions there. I mean, do you feel like you've been able to say all that you wanted to say? Is there anything else that you want to say?
I mean, there's lots of stuff I want to say. I want to make sure I answer all your questions. If you have any questions that you think you need to cover, I'll do that. But I have lots of stuff to say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, we've asked the questions that people have wanted to ask, potentially. I don't know when the last time is that you've given an interview. I don't think you've done it in a while. But, I wanted to give you that opportunity and to talk to you about that. And, do you feel like there's something we should have asked that we didn't ask?
I mean, there's a few things that you can ask about the 1989 case because they want to jump on that. At the same time, I say this, so we've had a 2-year smear campaign. I mean, like it was an excellent job. I give Ryan big props for his open letter, which is what we call a propaganda letter that got everything started. But at the same time, like, you have to ask yourself, like, what thing warranted a 2-year all-out smear campaign, from the forums to the news stories to everything, right? So what is the thing? So we have harassment right now, like the little wannabe reporter comes on the page and says, fuck Tim Spriggs. They do things like fuck Najee Easton. Like, what is Tim Spriggs? And what is Najee? Oh, they stayed with who? You stayed with TLI, the rape team, the rape culture? Like what are you talking about? Like, where's the rape culture? You're saying I have a 17-year history. And what do you want to say is the thing that now wants to try to ruin my 17-year history and turn it into a rape culture? You don't have one single thing, Like, what is it? So what is the thing that makes people want to harass Niger or want to harass Tim Spriggs or harass anyone on our team who competes and wins and does anything, right? What is the thing?
What is it? What is the thing?
Yeah, I'm asking. Is it because they think I paid for the lawsuit? Because they think they know what's going to happen in the 1989 case? Is it because Team Lloyd Irvin, Mateo, and Nick Schultz? You know what I'm saying? Mateo is 30 days on our team. How on earth could you think that we taught this culture into a person that's been with us for 30 days? Like, to be a military, you have to be on the team for at least a year in the military program. These guys hadn't even been through the program. But like I said, and I don't have anything against the guys. The guys look at the hand of court, they're doing their thing wherever they are, doing their thing. But at the same time, the people out here, they attempted to say that we have a culture of this. Like, where's the culture? Like, there is no culture.
So
yeah, and check it out. And if they won a world title with me in 30 days, and they only look at 30 days, they'll say, "Oh, well, he's not really from them." But then they wouldn't give the credit for that. I mean, that's how it is. Each and everything. So right now, why don't you see blog post after story about this guy happening in Texas right now? Why is the person that had this guy Albert Stolz on their podcast interviewing Nick Schultz doing these stories? Because I'll tell you why. Because it is alleged, and I have lots of friends in Texas, and it is alleged that the redhead person is covering up, and as long as that person steps down, and they're going to cover up to the best of their ability. So they're touching on stuff, but they're not saying anything. You're not doing no crime. Like, they know everything, right? They know everything about everything, about everybody. But now you don't know anything about this. Come on, you're lying.
I mean, I understand that you're speaking in a little bit of a language to not exactly name names. So it could be a little bit difficult to understand. But essentially, it sounds like what you're saying is that whoever you talked about the smear campaign and Bloody Elbow and what your allegations were as far as that goes, but you're suggesting that there's an effort by others in the jiu-jitsu quasi-media community to ignore other cases. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, there's some people that are ignoring certain things. Like right now, you go out and try to dig out and try to find out information about what's happening in Texas. You have to go to Bushido to find that information out. Another thing too, these groups. There's a group online that has their own private Facebook group, and we have people inside the Facebook. They have their own private Facebook group, and their Facebook group for the last 2 years has been dedicated to have people attack me, attack people on my team. They were posting all of our affiliates, and people were calling all of our affiliate schools trying to say, you better pull away from Lloyd Irvin. If you don't do that, we're not going to support you. And then they're going to put all the schools' names. I mean, it's like silly stuff. But inside this Facebook group, they are directing what to go to. Hey, there's a post on this forum. Go in here and do this. Go over here and do that. Hey, call these people and do that. Call this sponsor and do this. Call this promotion and say, if you let Tim Irvin guys compete, then we're going to boycott you. I mean, the promoters called me.
What's the name of this group? What's the name of this group?
I don't know what they call themselves.
Huh. Since you brought it up, I want to ask you this. 30 years ago, you were acquitted. Some other guys were found guilty. You were there. Was that woman raped, or did you ever feel like she was being raped at that party?
She was never raped, ever, ever, ever. And make sure you understand this. The story that they put out there and want you to believe is don't quote me on the exact numbers, but 8, 9, 10 guys were charged with rape. And all the guys went to court, and all the guys were convicted of rape except me, right? And this is absolutely garbage. And I'm pretty sure that they know it's garbage, but no one's talking about it being garbage. So this was happening. It was a party. It wasn't 10 guys and one girl. It was probably 15, 20 guys and a bunch of different girls. And when out of, like I said, don't quote me on the exact numbers, but it's going to be very close. Out of the 9 to 10 guys that were charged, me and another guy were the first 2 guys that went to court. I got found not guilty on sodomy and rape. The other guy got found not guilty on sodomy and got convicted on rape. And then that was that. Then 2 more guys who gave statements. Understand this, when you get arrested, and I said I was young, I'm 19, 20 years old. When I got arrested, I knew for a fact, don't talk to the police. You want to speak to a lawyer. These other guys, at the same time, where the cops are saying, you better do this, and they're calling us nigger that, nigger this, and threatening us, saying, you don't do this. If you tell us right now what's going on, you're not going to jail tonight, and you're not going home. And like I said, and this is, understand, in Virginia is different. And it's what we call the Southern Virginia. It's 1989 in Virginia, and if you understand what that means. And so the other guys gave statements, bought into the good cop, bad cop thing, made their statements. Many of them were lies. But anyway, when they had their day in court, they had to face it, and the lawyer couldn't do anything based upon their testimony they gave. They got found guilty, all right? Now, after that, there was a guy who came forward who refused to talk in the beginning with some new information. And this new information that came out caught everyone off guard, and the guy who got convicted with the rape with me got acquitted. I mean, not acquitted. They overturned his conviction. Now, understand this. Don't no black people in Virginia on the rape charges get their stuff overturned with something not major happening, okay? He got it overturned. He was released from jail. And one thing, the guy was the girl's boyfriend, and he was at the apartment that night. And so now, when that came out, guess what happened? All the convictions, this is how the convictions happened. And have you ever heard about Brian Banks' case?
No, I haven't.
All right, so it's a famous football player guy who got sentenced to had a rape charge, and they did a big story on it on CBS. But the thing was, the girl lied, and he did his time while he was in jail. He got out of jail. When he got out of jail after doing his time, he's a registered sex offender. Then the girl hits him up on Facebook, and they hook up, meet, and he's recording her, and she basically apologized for lying to him. I'm lying on him, and she got all this money, and she didn't want to get in trouble, and so they took that, and they filmed it, and they exonerated him, removed. He's no longer a sex offender, but it's like a big case. But the point was, his lawyer told him to take the 5-year plea, because the way, if you've never been through like a court, the way it works is this: the prosecutors want to become judges one day, or want to become get a political office. It's about winning. You need to win at all costs. And so when they give you these plea deals, it's basically a gamble. They gave him a plea deal. Say, listen, we'll give you a 5-year plea deal, or you can take this to court, and if you lose, you have 25 to 30 years in jail. And like on the CBS story, you can see it yourself. The lawyer told us, listen, we may be able to win, you may not be able to win, but I would take a chance. I would take the 5-year deal. So he took the plea. So back to our situation, when the guy got out of jail on appeal, they overturned his case, got out. The prosecutor went to, not only him, went to every single one of the people remaining and gave them a plea deal. And this is the plea deal. You guys plead guilty. We'll give you no jail time. You don't have to spend one single day in jail. Or you try to fight this, and if you lose, you spend 25 years to life in prison. And most of you, listen, to fight something like that, you have to spend $70,000, $80,000. Most of you guys didn't have no money. So guess what they did? They took a plea deal. So it's not like they would have you believe that all these guys went to court, went to trial, they got convicted. No, they got plea deals. Now think about this. If you read all the hate mail and all the hate sites, read what they say. The girl was beat up and she was hung over a balcony and all this and that. Like this. Listen, Virginia is not going to no black people with no evidence like that and giving them a plea deal with 0 time served. It's not happening. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And it was a straight political deal. Listen, rape is serious. And like I said, for the victims, like I said, I get it. Like I said, I'm 100% against rape. I don't support rape in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Since 1996, when I've had rape prevention seminars, I've never charged a single penny. Never charged a single penny. The event that happened in '89 scared me so straight. Understand this? I went and played football. I went in the pledge of fraternity. I went to parties, been in college, had a great time. I've seen other parties, frat brothers, frat football teams, sports, regular people having group sex. Because no one listens. I don't want anything about it. I'll never forget one time I was at a party. They were, guy having sex, blah, blah, blah. I went out in the car and slept in the car because I didn't want to be involved. For the next 20 plus years, I mean, like some people don't get this. There's some women, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but there's some women who like having sex with multiple guys, and some women that don't. But they got girls that do, that's their thing. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. If I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her to do it, but that's what it is. Now, some people who don't understand this as a reality, that's their own thing. But I was never involved in a rape. I have never watched a rape. I've never participated in rape. I don't support rape. I'm 100% anti-rape.
Wow, that's a lot of things that I have about that particular case that I haven't heard before. That's very interesting.
A lot of people know. I'm telling you, these people know it, but they're not putting that information out. And anytime we say something, they'll come out after this and try to dispute what I'm saying. You can't dispute what I'm saying. Like the eight or nine guys were convicted, and the only person that got off was Lloyd. No, it's not. Listen, these guys were given plea deals. Understand this, Mateo and them were given plea deals, and their plea deal was like 5 or 6 years. These guys were given plea deals with 0 time. 0 time. They'll say, well, what about the other guys that did go to court and did say, yeah, they went to court, but they also lied, trying to put blame on other people, and not understand that the girl was saying they did stuff too, and the cops lied to them. Listen, the criminal justice system is a horrible, horrible thing. Yeah, you're 19 years old, you're scared to death, you got good cops, you got bad cops, but the cops only trying to do what? Try and get you to testify so they can hold it against you. It's like all the information out here against me, like I said, is none of it's factual. That's why when I said I'll do the interview, and I didn't need to know what questions you're going to ask me. You can ask me any questions you want. These are facts. And you understand that if anything was not true, people would attack it, but they can't attack what I'm saying. Every single one of the people that got convicted outside of, I think it was 2 guys that went to court, they were offered plea deals. And the plea deal was 0 time. And no black man in America will ever go do a rape in Virginia and ever get a plea deal with 0 time served in Virginia. Period. Ever. It's ever. It's almost like Texas.
So, Lloyd, who do you think, going back to getting away from just the rape itself, they talked about Team Lloyd Irvin fostering a rape culture, but during that time when this all broke out, there was a lot more coming out other than just the sexual assaults. They were attacking your business tactics, just your culture of how you ran your team. Some alleging that, you were using people to, hey, you want to be the best, you want to train with the best, you got to do what it takes. And what it takes is, basically doing what Master Lloyd says, working for next to nothing, people that were part of your affiliate program, there was an allegation of you requiring money from somebody on a deal and them stalling you out, or, you know, them disagreeing and you showing up to a meeting with them with another person and a gun, bringing a gun to a regular business
That's
meeting?
knock upon city's ass. Listen, I carry a gun everywhere I go, and it wasn't about beating money. Like, I've never taken one single penny from an affiliate ever in my entire life. I'm like I said earlier, I'm not in the business of making money from this type of stuff. Like, my affiliation wasn't even like an association for real. It's like a bunch of guys who like each other, and we all fight on the team Lloyd Irvin. I don't take not one single penny. I've never charged anyone in my entire life for 17 years, not a single penny for being a member of our organization. As far as what we do as far as my business practices, like, talk about business practices. I have four to five guys that have helped become millionaires in the martial arts, who have a bunch of guys that are over the $500,000 to $800,000 mark. There's a bunch of guys that have taken from $10,000, $20,000 a month to $100,000 plus a month. I mean, I've changed people's lives, helped them keep their houses. Like, the attack on the MMA millionaires was trying to do damage to what they felt that was my only source of income. I mean, they said it in the very beginning, let's ruin them. They got stories and blog posts about the MMA millionaires, all the victims. What the victims? Like, listen, I just had an event just 3 weeks ago for $3,000. I had like 18 guys in the room. I mean, I could only take 15 people. Three other people were guests. And these guys have been coming to my events for the last 5 years. So if they've been getting scammed for the last 5 years, you think they would pay me $3,000? I have another event on May 15th and 17th and June 25th and 26th for $3,000, and I already have 18 people sign up for the June one already. Like, the people that were attacking me saying that I'm doing scams are people that were trying to get involved in the same business I have. I mean, I got Nakapon, who's trying to get into MMA consulting, trying to do what I was doing. There's another fat boy out in New York who's trying to do what I'm doing. Like I said, we sued, and I can't really talk about them because we already came to settlement. So forth. Got that money, you know what I'm saying? Got that money, and they talking shit about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, you got to stand up to the law. And when the law comes, when the law comes, you got to start showing checkbooks. You got to start showing bank receipts. You got to start showing emails. You got to start showing all this stuff. And, like, they're just lying. So, and right now, think about this. Think about, look how many people are doing 30-day free. Right now, as you and I speak, how many people right now have opt-in boxes on their website and are sending out emails and have widgets and offer free video lessons? How many people right now are selling DVDs, doing my style of marketing, right?
Tons.
Everyone's still doing it. But it was a scam. Like, if it was a scam, why have you stopped doing it? At least, like, guys like Knoxpon has at least the respect to leave the 30-day free and move to 7-day free, but it's the same goddamn thing. Once you come in, it's the same process. I mean, they're not going to change it, and they say, I learned it. I'm changing. They're doing the same thing. It works. Like, I've been doing it for 17 years. I mean, not 17 years. I had to school 17 years. I started probably doing this in 2000, so 15 years. I've been doing it. There's no scamming. I have a healthy student. I got students that have been with us for 10, 12, 13 years that are still here, as kids are still training. Like, what is the scam? Like, where's the scam? You know, it is a strategy and a tactic that they use to attempt. And they did a good job. I'll tell you, good job. But it's the same thing with the propaganda. Oh, these people are leaving that person, and the people in the mastermind groups and the people in the comes to this, like, they don't know me as good as these guys. Well, something must be wrong. Well, let's step back and see what's wrong. Lloyd's a rapist. Lloyd's a child molester. Lloyd's this. Lloyd's that. Lloyd has. I'll give you another one. Mark Densberger. Now, there's a guy named Mark Densberger who got arrested and he's in jail for child molestation. He was the head of the ASA Sambo Association. Okay, now, I got my black belt in Sambo from a guy named Eric Grove. But Densberger is like the overseer of the association. So, like, I'm not doing a great comparison like the IBJF, but, you know, like Carlos Gracie Jr. is the head of the IBJF, whether you get your belt directly from him. So this guy Densberger, they're trying to say that Lloyd Irvin had a case in '89. His Sambo instructor is a child molester. And then they're trying to build this cult culture, right? Well, check this out. I've never taken a class with Mark Ginsburg a single day of my life. I've done one seminar with him in my entire life. I've probably seen him personally 3 times in my entire life. All right, but did you know Steph Smith is also a black belt under Mark Ginsburg? I mean, if you want to go there, but they didn't attack Ryan Hall for 50 City because Steph was also a black belt under ASA. You didn't even hear anybody mention it.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, and I think that you've been pretty frank with us tonight, and I do appreciate that. I'm not sure what else to say at this point. I'm sure what's going to happen is we're going to put this out, and there's probably going to be a lot of responses, and I just want to throw this out there, an open invite to anybody who might disagree with what Lloyd Irvin says or may have something that they want to share in regards to this interview. You know, you're more than welcome to come on. Inside BJJ is we really actually try to be as neutral as we possibly can be. But one thing that we've never been afraid to do is just call things like we see it. And if somebody has something that they want to share, we're totally open for that. And if you'd like to come back on and respond, or talk to these people online on the air at the same time, I'm cool with that too, right? That's how we run things. But I do appreciate your time, Lloyd, and what's going to be next for you? What's your next thing? That'll be the final question. Like, what do you got coming up?
All right, right before I do that, I do want to say one thing, because you did bring up a point about guys working for nothing. It's a misconception. And when you're a white belt, you're a blue belt. And do you know anybody who's a blue, purple belt in the entire Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community that was given from a sponsor, some American Express Platinum card, where they can use it for whatever they're doing when they travel or eat, everything like that? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I can't say that I have.
Okay, listen, on The Truth About Lloyd Irvin, it'll be up tomorrow for you. You're going to see the legal case that Ryan Hall attempted to do to me. For some reason, he thought that I made $500,000 or was going to make $500,000 from the triangle course, and I gave him a bunch of money, and he had a legal team send me this note and demand all these things, and I had all these filings and so forth. And I hired a law firm, and we responded to it. But I'm going to post that so you can read for yourself to see who's a little spoiled punk, right? Now, understand what you're going to be reading is from a purple belt. You know what I'm saying? When you see the type of money that was spent on this guy, you see the type of perks he had. You're going to see the American Express card, man, from him thinking I made $500,000 to what was made after $90,000+, it's the whole time. It's crazy. I'm going to put it all up on The Truth About Lloyd Irvin so you can see.
All right.
And like I said, if anything else is needed, I'll keep on updating that as need be. But like I said, Team Lloyd Irvin, we're way past all this stuff. My wife, people talk about my wife and laughed about it. They try to come in and attack her. You got a grown adult talking about what my wife's boots she's wearing. You got grown adults talking about chemistry as they're competing. It's like it's just silly. But we're going to keep going. You're going to see a bigger presence in the MMA in the next few years. You're going to see the jiu-jitsu team. We have a bunch of teams coming up. You're going to see that continue to grow. And like I said, man, I'm just loving life. We have a lot of MMA millionaire events coming up. A lot of new business we're doing. Like I said, just loving life. I'm out. Like I said, most important, I want to thank all my supporters, everyone who stood in the heat of the battle when everything was happening, and stood up there representing me, and people send me the messages, and when I had events and so forth, you come up and speak to me. Like I said, I really appreciate that, because I'll admit, like I said, if you don't know me, and the way they wrote everything seemed bad. There's another guy named Sadiq Youssef. You'll hear he's 6-0 in MMA right now. He actually lived in the fighter house with all the guys, and he was there the night that they left. And so he tells everything that they're talking about. I know everything. We just doing our thing. Nothing has changed with me. Whether they heard about me or not, heard from me or not, I'm doing the same exact thing, just training, living life, having a good time, and trying to still at the same time spread jiu-jitsu, spread the information I have, our systems, everything.
So you think all your supporters that stuck with you through all this, would you have anything in retraction to say to the guys that bailed out on you when it got rough?
No, I mean, I talked to the vast majority of the guys, and we laughed about it when we went to tournaments and so forth. Like I said, I got nothing but love for the guys. The guys weren't here for that. They weren't here to be handcuffed and had guns pointed at their head and all this stuff and all this. Hey, I understand. You know, like I said, I'm a fan of JT. I'm a fan of Keenan. Like I said, I'm rooting for them. I mean, if they win the world, I'll be rooting for them. Listen, I can't be that close with JT and travel with him and work with him and do all these game plans with him and sit back and not want him to win. You know, when I still feel to this day, he's the black belt world title and Nogi was stolen from him. He was devastated. I was so angry. I went out and put what I put on my Facebook fan page, which caused an entire uproar for him because I know how hard he worked for it, and it was taken from him at the last second. So like I say, he wins the world title. I'm happy. Like I said, so I have no ill will to the guys. You know, no problem. It is what it is.
Lloyd, thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good one, sir.
Take care.
Wow, man, that was a very good interview. I mean, I think we hit on everything. I don't know what else we could have asked about.
Yeah, I want to throw this out there because I know this is going to happen. I know that the message board community is probably going to go crazy. And I want to say this to the people that are already going to come out and go, why did you even have him on your show? He doesn't deserve any time for anything. I want to say this. It's a subject that's important in the jiu-jitsu world, and really, he hasn't really come out and talked to anybody, as far as I know. He's been pretty quiet about things, and I felt like it would be good and enough time had gone by just to allow him to kind of have his side of the story in terms of just an open format for him to talk, but at the same time, us be able to ask him the questions that people have been putting out
everybody
online.
wants to ask, right?
And so we asked him, and he answered him. And I'm not saying at this moment in time right now I believe every single thing he said. He said a lot of things, and he jumped around on a lot of things. That doesn't mean that it's not true or that it is true. I'm just saying
there was a lot of things.
There's
to
a
talk
lot
about
of stuff to digest.
To fit everything in, it would just be like a 5-hour interview, right?
I mean, we're going up on 2 hours almost. That's how much
I'm kind of exhausted, to be honest with you, just from the whole
And just in
process.
general, like, Lloyd talks a lot already. In fact, when we opened the interview up, I didn't believe it was him. He was so quiet.
I don't like guys that talk a lot.
Yeah, I was like, this is not the Lloyd Irvin I know. And then he said, it's super fantastic. And I was like, all right, this is the Lloyd we know. But this is to the folks out there. I know he threw a lot of names out there. He threw Mike Fowler, Ryan Hall, Jordan Schultz, a bunch of guys, and that's just to name a few. I don't know any of you guys personally, and I have I have no backstory with any of you guys. I've interviewed Keenan once, and we joke around about Keenan a lot because I'm a big Keenan Ivory Cornelius fan. But at the same time, I have no angle in this game. I don't have a dog in the hunt. I just wanted to hear what he had to say. And if you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome. And I know Mike has been on Open Mat Radio, and those guys over there, Paul and Murdoch and all those dudes are cool dudes. They do great stuff. And
yeah, right.
They'll laugh at that, right? They're friends, and they're cool. But you guys are welcome to come on if you want to talk about it. If you got something to say, I'll give you the same respect that I gave him, but I'll ask you the same types of questions, but I'll also give you the format to say whatever you got to say.
Right. So then, even just going back, because we've just been catching so much nonsense. So the people that are like, why'd you even have him on? You guys are rape supporters. Dude, we have to be fair. If we're going to have Lloyd, we have to have Lloyd on. If we're going to talk shit about other people, about other things, then we've got to swing the other way too. We've got to be like, this is kind of like, this is us being open and trying to be non-biased. We have our own personal opinions,
sure,
which we're trying to suppress a little bit. But we've had strong opinions about other people, and we've openly talked shit about. But we got it. Everybody's got to have a voice, right? It's free speech. Have them on. They want to come talk shit about us.
Let's do it. Yeah, and go ahead, Matt, sir.
Well, I mean, this is America, and people have made a ton of allegations about Lloyd, but you have something that happened 30 years ago, and then you have something that I don't think you could connect what happened on New Year's Eve a couple of years ago to something that happened with Lloyd Irvin 30 years ago. And all the so those two things happened, but there's a lot of other things that they were saying happened that we don't that there's no proof, there's no charges.
It's just
there's not one charge that was brought
either
up
way.
besides
The
those
problem
two.
is there's no proof either way on a lot of it, as far as we
There's
can
nobody. There's nobody really. There's not a particular individual woman coming forward and saying Lloyd Irvin raped me.
Yeah,
When they're saying he was a rapist.
doing all these things.
So
totally.
I think every man's innocent until proven guilty. I'm not a judge. You know, it's not my job to say Lloyd's guilty or innocent.
I hear you.
All I gotta say is there's still a lot of Bill Cosby fans out there, and there's a lot of R. Kelly fans out there still. So like, you know,
There's a lot of Mike Tyson fans
and a lot of unproven shit on all the sides of those guys. You know.
Yeah, and also the invitation's always open. Even people that dislike us, I have asked them like, dude, you want to come on the show? Come on the show. Like I don't ever want Inside BJJ podcast to be a weapon. That like I want it just to be open where people can come on. If you think we're dumbasses and you want to talk shit to us, come on the show. I really don't take it that personal. Yeah, it actually quite is.
My favorite thing is if a caller comes on and starts talking shit about me. Fuck, that's hilarious.
Exactly. So we're up against it. Make sure you guys listen to Sunday show. Who we got coming up on Sunday? We got Erico is coming up on Sunday.
Nice. Is he coming down in the studio?
I'm not sure. I got to find out.
Sweet.
I think he may have Chelsea with him. We might get them both on, or we might have her with the women, girls on grappling.
We should just have her in the background like Lloyd had his wife in the background.
Just yelling at him.
Just yelling.
Reminding him stuff.
Tell him about the new guard pass.
Yeah, we got that. And, so make sure you check that out coming up on Sunday. April is freemium month, so all the premium shows are for free. Make sure you listen, and make sure, please, man, if you like the interview, just the fact, look, motherfuckers, this is what I'm going to say, God damn it. We pull a lot of fucking strings to get some of these guys on the show. Like, it's not easy. You got to be relentless, like, trying to get a hold of them, trying to talk to them, trying to work shit out. It's not coincidence that Inside BJJ was the very first show to have Rickson Gracie on when he made his announcement.
Right.
All right? It's not coincidence that we are probably one of, if not the only show that ever gets access to Lloyd Irvin. All right? I'm just saying, if you enjoy what we bring you, leave a rating on iTunes, leave a review. Hey, if you enjoy it a lot, put $1.99 down and hook us up.
I want to add something else that you just said.
InsideBJJ.com/premium.
It's not a
weird
coincidence that somebody like Eddie Bravo shouted us out on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Absolutely. It's not coincidence that I got Cesar Gracie and Braulio Estima to get on the line at the same time and squash their Nick Diaz beef. How fucking epic was that, dude?
Yep.
Epic.
I just want you to know.
There's some epic shit going down here.
There is.
From all of us. You guys are beautiful men.
TrainRonin.com.
I love the plug. TrainRunner.com.
There's no coincidence that
you got 1 minute because as soon as it gets to 2 hours, it Fs us up. So go.
Crosby Gracie will be in Stockton June 13th, 12 p.m. TrainRonin.com. Hit me up. Contact me. Skeet skeet.
Inside BJJ Matt. Follow me on Twitter.
Don't be worried about it.
Thanks for listening.
Go premium.